All right, folks, we're here on Nino's Corner.tv. This might go up on FluffTube depending on what we talk about. I'm here with John DeSouza, paranormal investigator for the FBI, was a retired, I guess I could say former paranormal investigator for the FBI. Has his fingers on the pulse on a lot of things going on, the current state of tyranny, which we're going to talk about right now. Remember, John, let's try to use hand signals and keep it. Yeah, exactly. So how's it going, man?
Social distancing. Look.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going great, man. It's going great. I am so happy.
I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know it's been a long time, but I always watch you. I always see the great interviews that you do. The amazing stuff. You just had on one of my great heroes, Clif High.
Yeah.
Clif High. And that was a phenomenal interview. So I feel like I'm always with you anyway.
Yeah, Clif High was just an amazing interview. I've kept that up on a FluffTube, so I hope this one can stay up as well.
Yes, it will. We'll make it happen.
All right,
we'll make it happen.
So, man, how do you want to kick this off? Because there's so much to talk about. I guess number one would be current state of tyranny that we're in, which a blind person can now see that our rights are being. This is a hostile takeover. This is a hostile takeover. Our rights are being stripped away from us, our freedoms, our liberties, everything. You got these mandates in, people are walking away from their jobs. The country's just falling apart, man.
Yeah, and it's all very carefully planned as part of in our current state of tyranny, because all of these things, and this was said by a great conservative governor. Her name is Noemi, who's the governor, I believe, of South Dakota, I believe. And she's just a brilliant person. And she said, and I use this all the time, she said that when you see a medical or scientific issue being joined together with something called mandates, government orders, government coercion, or even corporate coercion, then as of that moment, it no longer is a medical issue, a scientific issue, an issue of health. All of that is cut off, completely cut off. And this is something that we all have to get into our mental synapses so that we can argue this stuff better. It no longer has anything to do with health whatsoever. It has to do just with tyranny, and nothing but tyranny.
Yeah, and what we're seeing right now is a complete hostile takeover, man. I just can't believe how fast we've slid into this, and I knew it would happen once they, the 2020 heist happened. I knew it was okay. We're gonna have to learn the hard way, and here we are. We're in it now.
Yeah, and we're seeing to what extent it can actually go to by looking at places like Australia, what's happening there. I mean, it's insane. The stuff that mainstream news is trying to keep away from us, but we can still see it because we're intelligent people that can go to alternate sources. And it's unbelievable what's happening over there and what's happening in Italy and in other countries that are fighting for their freedom right now. It's unbelievable what's happening. And the current state of tyranny is one that people don't, the average person, the normie on the street, the person, just the mainstream person is just they just want to work at their job. They just want to take care of their families. And they just have no idea of what the current state of tyranny around them is right now. They have no clue.
You don't think they're waking up yet? You think they're still asleep?
Some of them are. I was just talking to a normie person who is a person that is related to my family. They actually work for my family, and they're just a regular person that went out and got and they got that, and it's a woman, a female, a businesswoman, and she went and got the and we told her not to. We told her she shouldn't, and she still did it. And of all things, this is something. This is what she said. She said she now has realized that because she took her hair is falling out. She's going to doctors. She's going back to, and this is something, we may not think it's that big a deal, but to her, that's
but what else is going? Yeah, that's a huge deal. But what else could be going wrong in your body?
Oh, no,
that's just probably a side effect of something that's more major,
visible. Yeah, and that's just something that's visible for her. But she's been going back to doctors, to the people who committed these things against her, and she's trying to say, hey, this was caused because of the, and what are they all telling her? They're all telling her, no, absolutely not. There's no relationship whatsoever between that and your hair falling out. It has no connection whatsoever. And they're adamant on it. They were so adamant on it that she was able to, even as a mainstream person, she was able to say to herself, what are they hiding? Hold on a second. Before they even investigate it.
Yeah, but it's a little too late now, John. It's too late. I'm a firm believer that the short-term effects are one thing. It's the long-term effects that are going to be the
right.
People, potential suicides and stuff like that are going to be happening. Watch and see.
Absolutely. But in this case, what I'm saying is this was the triggering event for this young lady, for this lady, because it's what revealed to her the real intentions and the real mental goings-ons of these doctors who are obviously trying to hide something. We're telling her there's no relationship whatsoever before they even looked into it. They didn't look into it.
Right.
But they were still ready. They already had the script from the CDC that says, hey, if they say that they're being caused this.
Oh, so they have an answer for it.
Yeah, they have scripts. They have actual scripts that they've been given by the CDC and the NIH that all doctors have that have been said, well, if they say they have this from the vaccine, say this. Then say this.
Hold on, don't say that word.
Oh, sorry. If they say they have this from the, then they say this, and then it says at the bottom of the script, it says if everything else fails, tell them they're just having neurosis or anxiety, and that it's a mental issue, and you can refer them to a psychologist. That's what it says on the script, and she could tell.
And of course, and then the psychologist makes money off this, and big cycle.
Right, and she could tell that the doctor was telling her some rehearsed answers when she came in with all of her hair loss and said, this is caused by the thing, and they said, and they were already ready with the answers to put her off, and that's when that's been her triggering event to wake her up. A lot of times it takes something personal for the person. It takes something that relates to them, and nothing else is going to work. And unfortunately, we're right now going into the phase where all of these people, are going to be experiencing these things directly. These normies, these mainstream people that we haven't been able to save so far. And you know what? We are going to have to be ready to reclaim them back into our group.
I'm thinking it's really going to hit hard. I think fall determines it all. I've said that many times on my shows on what direction we're going. But I think the middle of next year, as Clif High has spoken about, is going to be where we're going to see the effects, big effects from this, probably about this time next year or middle to this time next year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's true. And I would urge people to go and listen to all of Clif High's reports, at least like the last 30 or 40 from this entire year, because you really need to get a good foundation in the stuff that he says and how educated it is, how based on facts it is. And you have to really listen carefully, because some of the stuff that he predicts, and I'll tell you right now, I was going to tell you later, but I only follow, I don't follow anybody because I have my own intel sources. And if you follow too many people, it starts to pollute your own.
It waters. It gets watered down.
Yes. But I will tell you this. I only follow, I would say, 3 men three men that I follow in the entire world, and that I follow their information because it's just too important. And that's one of them is Clif High. Always follow his material, but you have to have a good education in his material first in order to really understand what the stuff he's talking about. Another one is David Icke for global kind of affairs, not for the United States. But I follow David Icke and Mike Bara.
I'm not familiar with him.
From History Channel. Mike Bara.
Okay.
The engineer from History Channel. Mike Bara. He's brilliant. He's just brilliant guy. And so I follow these guys, and it's just important to also and each of these guys do your own research as well, because you can trust, but you got to verify, like Reagan said. You can trust, but you got to like Q said. Q also said that.
Hold on, don't say that word either.
Oh, I can't say the letter. No. It's just a letter from the alphabet.
I know, it's unbelievable. The censorship's real.
Damn, man. Okay,
dude, it's that bad. It's that's why this, and my audience knows that's how bad it is.
Wow.
They're going after you for anything.
Wow. This is like the Soviet Union in 1990.
It is. We are living in it right now. This is it.
Yeah.
We are no longer at home with the free people. Keep, singing that shit. Right? No. We're in a fight, and we're losing our country by the fucking minute.
Yeah. This is crazy. But anyway, so as I was saying, we've got that. This is the current state of tyranny. What you just said, Nino. This is where we are. Our rights are being taken away. Joe Rogan just let out that wonderful, famous speech that was called Freedom. And everyone should listen to it. And all it says is a very simple premise. It just says, whenever government gets a little bit of power over you, it says this is never going to be over, because once they get a little bit of power over you, they're never going to let that power go. They will always claim that power and more. If the government gets to tell you that you now have to wear your underwear on top of your head, and you comply, and the ingredient, the vital ingredient is compliance. If you comply with tyranny, you start wearing your underwear on your head. This is from a Monty Python sketch, but unfortunately, it's real. And they get to tell you, and you comply. You go ahead and wear your underwear on top of your head. Then they will always make you wear your underwear on your head. They can tell you, the underwear rule is going away now. You'll be fine. It'll be over now.
Well, people are wearing it on their face.
It's not. Exactly. It's not going to go away, because once they get that little bit of power over you, they will always use it forever, and they'll only make it bigger and bigger.
It seems to me like right now, with Biden being in there, we're in a race against time. And they're moving as fast as they can. They're making up time for when they thought Hillary should have won in 2016 and she was upset. So they're making up for lost time. So they're going all in. And that's why we're watching this America just slide into this tyranny in warp speed, right?
Right. And it's not so much of a slide as it is now. It's just like a giant, messy snowball. Yeah, just rolling down the hill. And the fact that this is good news. The fact that they are so desperate. They're so desperate because the white hats have taken away so much of their resources. They've shut down child trafficking. They've shut down worldwide the drug cartel that's moving stuff all over the world through Afghanistan. They've shut that down. The cartel, the cabal is just running out of resources. They're desperate, so they've ordered their faker in chief, whoever's pretending to be Biden whoever the latest guy pretending to be Biden.
CGI or an actor. I don't know what that is, dude. It's creepy to even look at.
I know, right? It's a
creepy
combination
to look at.
It's a combination of several things. I think there's times when it's a CGI. There's other times when it's the well-known actor Arthur Roberts, who has been playing Biden for the last 6 months.
No shit.
Yeah.
You have validation on that, or is that just hearsay right now?
Well, everything is hearsay. I mean,
Yeah.
validation would be the validation will be when they finally decide to take down Biden
Yeah.
And sit him down in a chair and rip the mask off
Like
of
Scooby Doo.
on camera.
Like Scooby Doo.
Yeah, exactly, like Scooby Doo. That's the only validation there will actually be.
Right.
As a matter of fact, one of the things I want to tell you is why I believe that real raw news is true.
Okay, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out with that, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, and that's a good thing because I'm telling you and I'm telling the audience that this is supposed to be kept on the down low from normies because the white hat military wants it that way. They don't want this. They don't want this spread to normies. And this is the only thing I tell people that is not for general dissemination to everyone. And that's because they don't mind if we know what we know, but they know that the normies are not ready to know this. They're just not. They just are not. And I would ask people not to advertise it to the mainstream population at large, because the mainstream population at large, Real Raw News just wants them to see the disclaimer that says Real Raw News is just satire. It's just satire. It's just
yeah, that's what it says. So they're covering their ass that way.
Exactly. But not only are they covering their ass legally, they're also trying to shield mainstream people from being burdened with this information because they're not ready.
It's kind of like if you know. So it's kind of like if you know, you know.
Exactly. And so I'm basically telling you and your hardcore followers that this is the case. But I would, at the same time, I would say Real Raw News does not advertise. It does not put out stuff out there for dissemination. It does not ask for money. It does not. And that's because Real Raw News is actually written by the military, the U.S. military, the ones that are working with us. Okay. Also, if you go and look through the articles, or have one of your, or tell someone who's a veteran to look through some of the articles, it's obvious that Real Raw News is written by military personnel. For the most part,
they do quote a lot of military, but I thought that was just a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So like I said, Real Raw News appears to be actually real and true. But that's not something we want everyone to be told. Okay. It's just not, because that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of Real Raw News is to actually record. They have the ticket from President Trump to record all of the events surrounding the military tribunal.
And is this inside intel you're getting that is telling you that Real Raw News is legit?
This is information not from but from military personnel who are familiar with a lot of the military people that are working with Real Raw News. Okay. And who are telling me this is all true. It all is real, but it's not for dissemination to the general public.
So they're saying Bill Gates and Bill Clinton is dead, right?
Yes, they are.
They are dead. They are dead. So, and you're saying that you can say that with confidence, you believe that?
Yes, I especially can say that with confidence in regards to Hillary and Podesta and others as well. And the way that you know, and again, this is an investigation. It's if you just go and investigate the details of the articles that are put out, you can see clue after clue after clue that this stuff is real, that it's happening. The number one clue is that as soon as the day that Hillary was executed, for instance, and this happened with Podesta too, the day that Hillary was executed, mainstream media rushed that same day to create interviews with Hillary that were live on the air with MSNBC. and they just put her on the air, and they created this what do you call that,
facade,
deep fake?
a facade, an illusion that she was alive.
Yeah, it was a deep fake interview of her, and anyone who looks at this interview can see right. And she was wearing the same outfit that she had on when they captured her, which they printed at Real Raw News. She had the exact same outfit. It was a purple schmuck with purple earrings. It was awful.
So
anyway, so they rushed to get on these fake interviews. They did the same thing the day Podesta was executed. The same day.
I mean, I haven't seen Podesta. I haven't seen Comey. You know, Schiff is resurfaced.
Right.
But I really haven't
because they have doubles for Schiff. They also have doubles for Hillary. Hillary's double was just.
But I've also been told, John, that there's no secret rapture, and that you know the takedowns will happen publicly, and that's another reason. That's also why they have built that new courthouse next to the spa, what we call the spa, what Monkey Works likes to call the spa. You know, the new courthouse they just put $15 million into. Right. Because the deep state does not control that budget, that part of the budget. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does. And it makes sense that, yes, the takedowns will be public because they're being recorded and will be played for the public. That's why Real Raw News is so meticulously, these are a lot of the media people from the military services as well. All the military services have their own media departments. And a lot of them are working at Real Raw News to detail every single moment of the military tribunals and the consequences of those military tribunals. And they are recording them, they're preserving them, because all of this stuff is going to be played live, well, sort of live for the public later on. They're going to see every gory detail. And
that is when they're going to use the EBS. Yada yada yada, that type of thing, right?
So.
I know they just tested the EBS, and I was told that test was to see who was not going to play it.
Yeah,
who was not going to follow the game, you know, the game plan. So we know now that there's a lot of news stations out there that are not cooperating.
Right, and they've.
So how does that go down? So the military steps in.
I believe they will. They will step in at some point. They will be in control of the EBS, and they will be also by that time. The media will have to be taken down. The mainstream media all over the world, they'll have to be taken down in some form. And I'm not sure how that will go down, but it's a necessary component before the great return occurs also. So that's what we're looking at right
before the great return, you know, the reinstatement or whatever, if you want to say reinstatement, because we all know he's behind the scenes making moves. They have to get the public on board, right?
Largely, yeah. Largely, yes.
So how far along are we in that aspect?
You know, I think we're pretty far along. As you see, I think one of the big clues on that is that as you see Trump put on more and more rallies that are closer and closer together, that's his campaign. That's his campaign to win over the public.
I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, this is so far out of 2024. There's no way that he's going to be spending money and doing the rallies right now when he could wait, you know, the year of, you know, going into 2024. Why would he be wasting his time right now? And he's been on record saying so many times when people have asked him, are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? He said, you're going to be very happy. You're going to be very happy. You know, he has said this.
Yes. Well, not only that, I mean, I would, the other thing is that the strongest clue that he is definitely in control, let's put it that way, in control of our situation here is the fact that he is alive, that he's still alive.
100%.
His family is still alive.
And protected.
That he's showing up in public forums, like without a care in the world. Listen, this is a man who did 100 times more than what JFK did. And basically he did 100 times more than what JFK did. And just for the fraction that JFK did, the cabal killed him and basically wiped out his whole family at that point. So that's why no one ever dared to do the stuff that JFK did or attempted to do ever again until Trump. And now you have Trump.
Well, they tried it with Reagan.
Yeah, well, Reagan was a totally different case because Reagan was basically focused on the freedom of the world away from communism, as opposed to the freedom of the American people away from the cabal. So that was kind of a different case there, which was also very important, but not directly affecting the American people the way that JFK did and the way that Trump does. So that's really what was at issue there. So now, what makes me believe that Trump is in control under what's called devolution, which I'm sure you guys have dealt with, is that he's basically still alive, and and it makes me really believe in devolution that that before he left office during the first term, he did indeed sign the Insurrection Act, get that going, and then sign a constitutional procedure called devolution, which then gave over control of the government to 7 military commanders over 7 critical functions, critical structures and functions of the government, for them to keep running it separately. And that's why Biden has control of the Department of Justice and a few other things. But the majority of the critical infrastructures of government are under the command of those 7.
One of them being DOD, right?
I believe so, yes. And they are in voluntary consultation with Trump, not as commander in chief, but as whatever. I don't even know what his title would be under his current system. But I believe that the fact that he's alive and unmolested just makes me, especially after the history of, and I would ask people to refer to Mike Bara's website for Mike Bara's information for the inventory of all the assassination attempts that the cabal has made against Trump, which is a really long and detailed list. And he just took everything, and like a detective, he just went through each incident, and he documented them and showed them to people. It's amazing stuff. But those attempts to kill him have not stopped either. They made an attempt recently at the Mar-a-Lago club, the golf resort, where I believe he has a double that is out there playing golf like every day.
He's probably really good at it by now.
He's got to be very good at it. And he's also good at schmoozing the press, which I believe a lot of the press knows that he's not really Trump, because he's there every day. He's every day playing golf and saying hello to people, and he's just walking around. But the other day he was at some chamber where they had reinforced the bulletproof glass all around the chamber that he was in, and they attempted to use a high-powered arm, like 50 cal, to try to kill him. And I don't know if they really think that he was Trump. I don't think so. I think everybody knows that guy's a double. I mean, you just look at him on camera, you can kind of tell.
He's real heavy set, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've seen him. Like, how come when I see Trump, it looks like he lost weight? When I see this guy playing golf, he looks like a badass out there. Fucking
exactly.
Loves his donuts.
But they still tried to kill him, and luckily, all the glass around the place where he was staying is completely reinforced with ridiculous glass that is resistant to everything, and luckily he was saved. So my point is, they haven't stopped trying to kill him, and it just makes me absolutely aware that Trump still has the nuclear codes. He still has control of the real military, because if he didn't,
we'd be under attack right now by China, right? I mean, everything. I mean, I understand that they're weakening us with their propaganda. They're emasculating men. They're destroying the families that, and then they're strengthening their military. They're getting ready to attack Taiwan from what I can see. And I think they're probably going to do this. I mean, when we're at our weakest state, which is probably any day now, right?
Yeah, right. But that's kind of a distraction, because we have because China would, I don't believe that they would ever dare to go against the United States militarily. I think they know that the weapons we have available for our use, which are not even nuclear, the weapons, that special weapons that we have, would just absolutely destroy them.
Space Force. Space Force being one of the.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Space Force is connected to all of these weapons. So they wouldn't have a chance. I think that this stuff about China attacking or going, I think it's all distraction from the media, especially. I think the media is cooperating with them to make them seem a lot more destructive than they really are, because the real attack against America is also sent by China, is actually coming in over our southern border.
Right. Fentanyl.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah, fentanyl. And then they're funding the big influx of Haitians, South Americans. I mean, the whole thing, right?
Yes. However, that's just a tiny portion of the destruction that they're sending over with the refugees, or whatever you want to call them. I think the real item of destruction that they're sending over is, according to sources I've gotten recently, and this has to do with the immediate future of what's going to be happening. And this is tough stuff for people who, if for the people who want this to just be over, I would say, then you got to just don't listen to this. Don't listen to this.
Yeah,
don't listen.
Turn it off now.
Any of this stuff, because this is not going to be, even after Trump returns, this is not going to. It's only going to intensify.
I've heard it's going to take decades and decades of cleanup.
Oh yeah, because, and also, I hope you have seen that map that I've been sending around to people, and many people have been sharing the maps that show which states want the and which states are against it, because it looks like a Civil War map. It looks like a map.
The states are breaking apart. Like they're choosing their lanes.
Right.
California is California now. I mean, I don't even want to go visit there. Right. I don't know how anyone's living there.
And for those of us,
they're all coming to Texas.
And for those of us who have to travel all the time, you got to have that map with you. I wish I remember what the name of the map is. I call it free states, slave states. I call that map. It shows the free states in red, in bright red, and then it shows the slave states in gray, and it's if you're going to travel, because these slave states are going to get more and more intense. Even if Trump comes back, even when the Great Return happens, they're still going to be in rebellion. They're still going to be the slave states, and they're going to get more and more intense. And if you have to travel, you better have that map as a reference, because you have to know where you're going and what the rules are there.
You got to send it to me. Yeah. And I know. Well, it's the liberal states, basically. I get Washington State, you got California, you got New Mexico. These are all the states that are like the most liberal I can imagine. New York.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me see this. I just want to,
I should have let you be able to share the screen.
Share screen. Yeah. Right. Here.
Okay.
Here's the map. It's called, and that's it.
Wow.
So Alaska's a free state. Hawaii is a slave state.
That's incredible. I can't believe we've come to this point.
There it is.
And they probably won't let you travel to and from in those states. They'll lock them in.
That's coming next.
Yeah, that's coming next. Interstate travel. So they're locking down the airlines right now. And people are, and so they know the next move is going to be people are going to be driving. But how are you going to drive when you're locked in by these tyranny states?
Exactly.
Wow.
And there's some unexpected things on here. Look at this. Indiana is a slave state. Wait. Oh no, free state. Sorry. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Kentucky is a gray state. It's a slave state. I mean, I would never have expected Kentucky.
Wow, the whole Northeast is slave states.
Exactly.
And Northwest.
Exactly. It's crazy, crazy stuff, man. And everybody needs to have this map because this map is
Nevada,
only.
huh? Yeah, Nevada's real bad.
Oh, Nevada is terrible.
Yeah.
Nevada with Las Vegas. I mean, it is terrible. And their level of tyranny is increasing every day. That's why people need to know this map because it's increasing and it's going to get worse once.
So
Trump
you see
back.
this happening no matter regardless of Trump coming back.
Oh no, it's going to happen even more intensely once Trump comes back.
Right. The problems don't just get solved like that. Yeah, there'll be arrests, there'll be things happening, but the fight's going to intensify.
Exactly, because these states are the ones that are with China and with the NGOs, with the CDC.
Under Chinese control.
Exactly. So they're going to just get worse and worse in the state of, once Trump is back, they're going to get into a state of rebellion, of open rebellion.
Right. Yeah.
And it's going to get worse. And they have to do that because if not, their entire their top, they're all going to be arrested and taken in prison. So that's why they have to keep fighting. Then they're going to keep fighting.
So they're going to keep fighting for survival, because if they I guess if they give up or they surrender, let's so to speak, they'll be put to death.
Exactly.
Treason. So they're going to fight for their lives to stay that way.
Exactly. And that's why these states, that's why this map is so important, because these states are only going to get worse no matter what, especially if Trump comes back. When Trump comes back.
So,
and it's going to get worse and worse.
So all this is what we see in our immediate future, right? That's what you see happening. Plus food shortages. What about food shortages, John? There's the cargo ships aren't being allowed to port. There's bad things happening right now. Yeah. This is all artificially engineered. We know this.
Yeah.
What are people going to do with food, man?
Well, let me tell you right now, you could do something. The food shortages are mostly, not completely, they're mostly going to affect the big cities because that's where 90% of distribution of food goes. So if you a lot of places are going to stop delivering to the big cities. So if you're not in a big city, for the most part, you're not going to experience the disruptions that the big cities, because that's what they want to be, the kill zones anyway. They want those kill zones to be
I agree with that 100%, but also you got to remember too, what about interstate travel? There's going to be a lot of bandits because crime is going to spike. So they're going to start jacking the food trucks. Food trucks are probably going to have to take security with them, like almost like money trucks. That's what I see happening in the future. This is like wild Mad Max shit.
Exactly. It's going to go to that. And
unless the military intervenes first.
Right. But even when the military intervenes, it's going to have to be very limited. In other words, that's one of the reasons why Trump keeps pushing everyone to have direct involvement, because it's going to, even when the military comes in to support, we as local populations, we're going to have to participate in the protection of our own communities. We're going to have to come together. We're going to have to form citizens councils. We're going to have to do things outside of the current political structure. So people have to be ready for that, because instead of being Minutemen with rifles, we're going to have to be active participants in the community with information. And that's going to happen. We're going to have direct involvement. So that is coming up also. But also with immediate future, by way of what you said, the food shortages. Also, here's the other thing that I got from my own intel sources. Just I think last week. I just got this last week, and it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough, but I gotta tell you. I've been told that the actual next step of the cabal in this whole thing is to start the next variant of viruses and sickness
lockdowns
to get to further lockdowns. But they're sending this next variant of sickness, of virus,
Yeah,
of
be
sickness.
careful with what you say, but yeah.
Right. They're sending the next variant, and it's going to be based on something called Marlsberg sickness, or an Ebola type strain, and whatever it is, it's going to have about a 90% fatality rate for full contact. When you come in full contact with this next virus, it's going to have a 90% death kill rate. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. And they're trying to send it in. They're trying to send it in over the southern border right now. So that's the next thing that we're facing. It's going to have really nothing to do with the old sickness, the previous sickness.
And they're going to blame it on the border. They're going to be like, oh, well, which they don't care because they're out to just destroy and corrode America. Well, yeah. They bring in another.
Well, they're probably going to blame it on the unvaccinated. That's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah. They're going to say, oh, the people that didn't get this. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so, but it's going to be a real actual disease, not like what's previously been happening.
Like the flu.
It's right. Yeah. It's not going to be just the flu. It's going to be an actual operational.
Okay. So sickness. The White Hats have to know this.
They do, but I don't know if they can stop it completely. I don't know if they can, but it's coming up right now. Like this is, I'm telling you, and this is like in the
next. You think it'll be here in like right now, this fall, this winter?
Well, I think it's right here, right now, already. I think it's already here. It just hasn't manifested yet, where we actually see the results.
But well, then that could be all she wrote, man.
Well, yeah. The reason is they have that because they're hoping that now with this being a real sickness that's going to get large numbers of people sick, they're hoping that that's going to finally crash our hospitals, our medical
and we're understaffed right now.
Right. So they'll actually collapse them completely so that the death rates on this new sickness, this new variant, will go way, way up. It'll go through the roof. And then they'll get the hysteria they need for the new lockdowns of every state. That's what they're hoping.
This is bad.
Yeah, it's extremely bad. But like you said, the White Hats already know this is happening. They know because, I mean, they're the ones who told me about this anyway. So I don't know how they're going to stop it because clearly they're not able to stop what's coming in over the southern border because I know I've been seeing the actual bodies coming over the southern border, and I know it's there. I know it's happening. I know that they're coming in, and there's nobody can stop them at this point because Biden's people are in charge of that part of government. So I don't know what they're going to do to stop it if they can stop it, but that's where we are right now.
And these are the immediate threats, and
right.
and not into the not too distant future. Another card that people need to be aware of is the potential alien threat, the alien invasion, correct?
Yes.
Which will be the last card they play if all else fails, or is it going to be a card they play anyway?
Well, I mean, we see that it's a card that they're preparing no matter what. They always have it in preparation, and you can see that by the fact that you have politicians. Renegade the other day said something about it. He made some comments about it. Obama, he actually said the other day, yeah, these UFOs, they're real, and they're gonna be increasing the defense budgets of nations all over the world. So for some reason, he wants to give a nod out to the defense industrial.
Well, they're already conditioning people on the news with the propaganda. Oh, right. UFOs flying over here. The documents are disclosing the UFO confidential material to the public now. And I'm like, oh, this is all they're setting us up, man.
They are. And they're trying to keep the level of fear. You know, with everything that's going on, you still are seeing reports about the Tic Tacs on Fox and on other places. Sorry?
What is a Tic Tac for my audience?
Oh, the Tic Tacs are those little ships, those little UFOs that are
cylinder-looking ones, the ones that look like cylinders. Is that?
Yeah, yes. They come as cylinders, and then they come as longer cylinders too. They've been spotted as longer cylinders, they've been spotted as the little UFO tic tac shaped things as well. But they're being spotted right now. They're being spotted all over the earth. But it appears that
are they real or holograms?
No, they are real. They are actually super weapons. Possibly have been reverse engineered from Roswell. Very possible that they have been, or they could just be these super stealth secret super weapons that have been developed by the United States, and in possession of the United States. And what's happening is right now we have a part of the cabal and the white hats are fighting for custody of all of these tic tacs to get possession of all of them, because the cabal wants to use them for fake alien invasion, of course. The white hats want to use them to fight China and other places as well. The white hats do, yeah. That's
incredible. Do you know what the timeline is for this?
That is a long timeline because yet it's going on right now because the media and politicians keep talking about it. They want to keep that fear alive. So it's going on right now. It's going to continue, and if the current state of tyranny falls apart for the cabal, if this whole thing just falls apart, then they're going to be ready, spring-loaded, to immediately put forward fake alien invasion, which will be a real invasion of ships that will be destroying our cities. The only thing that's fake about it will be there won't be any aliens involved with it. It'll just be members of the cabal saying, "Okay, I'm here to help you. I'll talk to the alien overlords, and I'll get them to take it easy on us if you do what I say."
This is how desperate they are. This is how badly they want to control the world.
Oh, absolutely. They are desperate. But at least now they're desperate not just to control the world. They're desperate just to survive. And the only way for them to survive is to move forward with tyranny at the highest levels.
They're going all in. They're going all in.
Exactly. And that's why you see what's happening in Australia, in Italy, in many of the other countries, even as several other countries like Brazil, like Finland, Norway, Denmark are all saying, "Okay, we're done. We're done with this nonsense. We're done with all this fascist nonsense. We're out of it. You know, we're going to distribute this ivermectin to all of our population."
Hold on, don't say that word.
Okay. We're going to distribute this great medicine that saves people to our population, and we're done with this COVID nonsense.
But really, we are in for a fight, whether we like it or not. Even when Trump does get reinstated or reemerges, we're in a fight for decades. This is not ending any.
Right.
This is not like, oh, we're going to win, hip hip hooray. Everyone gets arrested and we move on with life. This is going to be a consistent fight that we're looking to be into for decades. I mean, am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely, you are. But it's going to be different levels of fight. And as Clif High would say, even it's going to be different levels of fight, because once you realize that this fight's not going away and that you need to participate in it at your level of talent and abilities, then you become engaged in that. And being in a state of liberty, freedom, and fighting and conflict will become a normal, good thing for you. That's just the way human nature is.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable is what I always say.
Yeah.
You got to welcome the fight, man. I've been a fighter my entire life, and that's the mentality I always had was, this is what it's like to be alive, is when I'm fighting, when I'm in the ring fighting, in the mid rounds, that's when you feel the most alive. So people need to get used to that mentality, correct?
Absolutely. Because the people who are really suffering right now and are going to continue to suffer are the people who think, oh, if I just keep my head down low enough and I comply with whatever I'm complying with, then I'll get through this. I'll be fine. And those are the people who are going to suffer the most, because they're gonna have no respect for themselves later on, and they're gonna be in a miserable state, because their compliance will always get bigger and bigger.
So whether we like it or not, we're in a fight, and it's not ending anytime soon. We better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is true, and it's definitely not going away. It's not gonna, but we will learn to live with it and learn to do better in that fight, to defend ourselves and to actually be citizens, free citizens of the United States Republic, hopefully. Yeah.
John, thank you for joining me. Could you tell people where they can find you, please?
Yeah, find me at johntamabooks.com.
Tama with
also,
a T?
Yes, that's T like Tom, A, M like Mary, A. johntamabooks.com. But Google tells me that everybody finds me by just Googling John DeSouza, and that they find everything on me. Also, Instagram. I know you're huge on Instagram. I am John X DeSouza at Instagram.
John, the letter X.
Yes.
DeSouza on Instagram. Oh yeah, folks, you can go to Nino's Corner. Nino's Truth on Instagram for me. Nino's Truth. That's my backup account because my other account got shadow banned so badly. John, just want to say thank you, man. This is internet gold, man. This is a lot of information that people can dive into and research for themselves. I appreciate you. I'd love to have you on again in the next month or so. What do you say?
Oh, that's awesome, Nino. I would love that. It'd be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna start this meme to draft Nino Rodriguez to fight the Gypsy King in one of the next fights. I'm out of retirement.
Make sure it's a 3-rounder because I ain't fucking training. I appreciate you, John, man. You're awesome, brother. And maybe you could put up that map on your Instagram or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That'd be a good map to put up on Instagram, and I'll share it.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to do that right now. Good.
So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and premiere this tomorrow night.
Yes.
So
awesome.
I'll leave it up for a while and then probably take it down. It'll live and breathe on ninoscorner.tv.
Sounds great. Nino, thanks so much, man.
All right, John, take care of yourself, man.
All right, man. You too.
God bless. Bye.